Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Roman Reigns made his much-awaited return to WWE at this week's edition of SmackDown alongside Paul Heyman. Fans saw a blockbuster segment between the OTC, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. The three megastars also broke into a massive brawl, resulting in security personnel and Nick Aldis rushing toward the squared circle to separate the superstar. Following the segment, the Stamford-based promotion announced the much-awaited triple threat match at Showcase of Immortals featuring all three superstars. However, Reigns might punish his wise men ahead of WrestleMania 41. On SmackDown, CM Punk entered the ring last. He thanked Paul Heyman for presenting Reigns in front of him. The OTC looked perplexed as he turned to confront the Hall of Famer, who looked clueless. Before the undisputed tribal chief could have inquired much, Punk attacked Roman. In the upcoming episode, we could see a segment in which Roman Reigns confronts his wise men and questions his loyalty, as Paul Heyman has a soft corner for CM Punk. On Raw, when Reigns attacked Punk and Rollins during their steel cage bout, Heyman was seen comforting the best in the world. On the latest episode of SmackDown, Punk thanked the Hall of Famer as if they planned to bait the OTC. Reigns could punish Paul Heyman for keeping in touch with CM Punk and ask him to cut all ties, as they will clash at WrestleMania 41. Heyman's presence in between would make this storyline even more interesting for fans, and the upcoming weeks would be thrilling. That said, the scenario suggested above is mere speculation at this point. Paul Heyman could betray Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. The triple threat match between Reigns, Punk, and Rollins promises fireworks. The bout is going to be a back-and-forth affair, and most probably, it wouldn't have a clear winner without any shocking twist. CM Punk could finally redeem his favor from Paul Heyman, ask him to be his wise man at WrestleMania 41, and ditch Roman Reigns. The Hall of Famer might shockingly alter the entire trajectory of the bout, betraying the undisputed tribal chief and aligning himself with the best in the world. This move would also lay the foundations for the showdown between Roman Reigns and Punk's singles feud. At Survivor Series 2024, the two teamed up, and their interactions garnered millions of views, which suggests fans are interested in seeing them clash. However, the angle above remains hypothetical at this moment. With the show of shows nearing, it will be interesting to see how the triple threat saga unfolds in the coming weeks. The tension within the bloodline had never been higher. Roman Reigns, the longest-reigning Universal Champion in modern history, had just returned to WWE after a lengthy absence. But instead of being welcomed back as the tribal chief, he found his empire in chaos. Solo Sikoa had taken over leadership in his absence, and a new, more vicious faction had emerged under his control. Worse yet, Paul Heyman, the man Reigns had entrusted with keeping the bloodline intact, had seemingly allowed it all to happen. With WrestleMania 41 on the horizon, Reigns was preparing for one of the biggest fights of his career. But first, he had to handle unfinished business. And that meant punishing Paul Heyman. The confrontation. The March 22 episode of WWE SmackDown opened with Roman Reigns standing in the center of the ring. The crowd erupted in a mixture of cheers and boos, knowing that tonight was about business. The head of the table was back, and he didn't look happy. Heyman, visibly shaken, stood in the corner of the ring, clutching his phone like a lifeline. He had served as the wise man for years, guiding Reigns through every battle, every betrayal, every moment of dominance. But this time, there were no words that could save him. "Wise man," Reigns spoke, his voice cold and deliberate. "You told me that the bloodline would remain strong in my absence. You said that everything was under control. And yet, I come back to see my family in ruins. My empire, divided. Solo running things like he's me. The elders whispering behind my back. And you. Standing there, doing nothing." Heyman gulped, his lips trembling. "Am my tribal chief, I did everything I could." Reigns' eyes darkened. "No, you didn't. You let Solo take over. You let him bring in Jacob Fatu. You let him make decisions like he was the one calling the shots. And you," Reigns stepped closer, forcing Heyman against the ropes, "you stood by and let it happen." The tension was suffocating. The fans inside the arena were silent, waiting for what would happen next. "I trusted you, Paul," Reigns continued, his voice laced with venom. "And you betrayed me in the worst way possible. The truth comes out." Heyman frantically shook his head. "I didn't betray you, my tribal chief. I only advised Solo because I had no choice." Reigns arched an eyebrow. "No choice?" Heyman hesitated before finally spilling the truth. Solo. He came to me after you left. He said the elders wanted change. That they were tired of waiting. That if I didn't support him, I would be cast out. I tried to delay it. I tried to protect your throne. Heyman's voice cracked. But Solo. He's ruthless. He said you were gone too long and that the bloodline couldn't wait for you anymore. Reigns clenched his jaw. He already knew Solo had been moving on his own, but hearing Heyman confirm it stung. So instead of standing up for me, you rolled over? Reigns growled. Heyman dropped to his knees, pleading. I thought I was protecting you. I thought if I could keep Solo close, I could keep things from falling apart. Reigns shook his head in disgust. You didn't protect me, Paul. You let my enemies grow stronger. And for that, you have to pay. The punishment. The crowd erupted as Reigns grabbed Heyman by the collar, his face filled with fury. I should end you right here, Reigns growled. But that's too easy. He let go, shoving Heyman backward. The wise man stumbled, gasping for breath. You want to be loyal to Solo? Fine. Then you're his problem now. Heyman's eyes widened in horror. And no. Please, my tribal chief. I am yours. I have always been yours. Reigns smirked cruelly. Not anymore. As Heyman begged for forgiveness, the music of Solo Sikoa hit. The enforcer of the bloodline walked down to the ring, flanked by Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. The new bloodline stood at the top of the ramp, watching as Heyman trembled in fear. Reigns turned his back on Heyman, signaling that he was done with him. The message was clear, Heyman was now Solo's responsibility. Solo grinned, his expression unreadable. Come on, wise man, Solo said, extending a hand. Time to go. Heyman hesitated, looking back at Reigns one last time. But the tribal chief had already turned away, showing no remorse. Tears in his eyes, Heyman realized he had no choice. He slowly walked towards Solo, leaving the ring like a man walking to his execution. As he disappeared with the new bloodline, Reigns stood tall, shaking his head in disgust. The fallout before WrestleMania 41. With Heyman now aligned with Solo, questions arose about Reigns' future. Would he be able to reclaim the bloodline? Could he trust anyone now? The road to WrestleMania 41 was about more than just championships, it was about power. And Roman Reigns was ready for war.